Evolution is often imagined as an endlessly creative force, a river of life branching into a near infinite number of forms. Like the waters of a great delta, life splits and meanders, each branch exploring new territory, new possibilities and new shapes. Over billions of years, this process has produced a breathtaking diversity of creatures, each uniquely adapted to its own environment. Yet beneath this surface of variety, a deeper pattern emerges, one that reveals the constraints and possibilities written into the very fabric of life itself. If we look closely at the grand tapestry of the natural world, we begin to see repeating patterns, uncanny echoes that reverberate across continents and through the vast corridors of geological time. These echoes are not mere coincidences, but the result of a profound process that shapes the living world. This phenomenon is known as convergent evolution. It describes the process by which unrelated organisms, often separated by vast evolutionary distances, independently evolve similar traits or solutions to comparable environmental challenges. These similarities arise not from shared ancestry, but from the relentless pressure of natural selection acting on different lineages in similar ways. When life is confronted with the same problem, whether it is how to move swiftly through water, how to see in the darkness, or how to extract food from a difficult source, it often arrives at the same solution, entirely independently. This is the remarkable story of how nature, when faced with similar obstacles, crafts similar answers from entirely different starting points. It is as if nature possesses a limited toolkit of master designs, blueprints that are so effective, so perfectly suited to a particular task, that they are used again and again. These blueprints are not copied from a common ancestor, but are sculpted anew from entirely different genetic and anatomical materials, each time shaped by the same environmental pressures. This process reveals a profound truth about the rules that govern life on our planet. The apparent creativity of evolution is, in fact, bounded by the laws of nature and the constraints of biology. The same challenges, when encountered by different organisms, often lead to the same solutions, because the underlying physics and chemistry of the world are unchanging. The laws of physics and chemistry are universal and unyielding. The way water flows, the way light bends, the way gravity pulls, all of these forces shape the possibilities available to living things. No matter where life arises, it must contend with these same fundamental realities. The drag of water, the pull of gravity, the properties of light, and the challenges of finding food or avoiding a predator present a common set of obstacles. Whether in the depths of the ocean, the dense canopy of a forest, or the arid expanse of a desert, these challenges are ever present, shaping the bodies and behaviors of the creatures that inhabit these worlds. Natural selection, the engine of evolution, is not a random artist but a meticulous engineer. It constantly tests and refines the forms and functions of living things, discarding what does not work and preserving what does. Over countless generations, this process hones the adaptations of organisms, leading to the emergence of similar solutions in response to similar problems. When different species, often separated by millions of years and vast genetic gulfs, stumble upon the same environmental niche or physical challenge, they are often guided down a similar evolutionary path. Their bodies, though built from different ancestral blueprints, converge on a shared, optimal form, shaped by the demands of their environment. Consider the simple act of swimming quickly through the ocean. There is an ideal shape for this, a streamlined, torpedo-like body that minimizes resistance and allows for efficient movement through water. This shape has evolved independently in many groups, from ancient marine reptiles to modern fish and aquatic mammals, each time providing the same advantage in the struggle for survival. Or think of the need to see in the dark. In the shadowy world of night, large eyes and sensitive retinas have evolved in many unrelated animals, allowing them to capture the faintest glimmers of light and navigate the darkness with precision. Or consider the challenge of digging through dense soil. Powerful forelimbs, specialized claws and compact bodies have evolved again and again in burrowing animals, each time enabling them to tunnel through the earth in search of food or shelter. Or the task of reaching the nectar at the bottom of a long tubular flower. Long slender beaks or proboscises have evolved in birds, insects and even some reptiles, each time providing access to a rich source of energy hidden deep within the flower's depths. For each of these challenges, there exists a remarkably efficient biological solution. These solutions are not the product of chance, but the inevitable outcome of the interplay between environmental demands and the possibilities available to living organisms. And so, time and time again, we see unrelated lineages, mammals, reptiles, insects and birds, independently craft similar tools from their unique evolutionary heritage. Each group, drawing from its own genetic and anatomical resources, arrives at solutions that are strikingly alike, a testament to the power of convergent evolution. These creatures might be separated by oceans and epochs, but the pressures of their worlds mould them into startlingly familiar shapes. The silhouette of a swift predator, the outline of a gliding animal, the form of a burrower, these are patterns that emerge again and again, wherever life faces the same challenges. This essay will explore these extraordinary stories of convergence, tracing the paths by which evolution has arrived at the same destination from different starting points. We will examine the evidence preserved in fossils and in the living world, revealing the deep connections that unite the diversity of life. We will journey back in time to meet ancient sea reptiles that look just like modern dolphins, their bodies shaped by the same need to move swiftly through water, despite being separated by millions of years and entirely different ancestries. We will witness insects that mimic birds, their wings and bodies converging on similar forms to exploit the same ecological opportunities or evade the same predators. And we will see mammals on opposite sides of the world that have evolved the same spiky defences, their bodies armoured against attack by the same ingenious solution, despite their distant evolutionary paths. We will see how the simple necessity of moving from one tree to another has led to the reinvention of gliding flight on 4 separate occasions, each time allowing animals to soar through the forest canopy in search of food or safety. By understanding these patterns, we not only gain a deeper appreciation for the ingenuity of life, but also uncover the fundamental principles that shape all living things. These principles, forged by the unyielding laws of nature and the relentless pressure of natural selection, reveal the unity underlying the diversity of life on Earth, and perhaps the forms that life might take wherever it arises in the universe. Deep within the fossil record lies one of the most astonishing and illuminating examples of convergent evolution, a phenomenon where unrelated organisms independently evolve similar traits as they adapt to comparable environments or ecological niches. This story unfolds across hundreds of millions of years, connecting 2 remarkable marine animals that, despite their vast separation in time and ancestry, came to share nearly identical forms and lifestyles. The tale begins in 2 different epochs: the ancient seas of the Mesozoic era and the vibrant blue waters of today. These 2 worlds, separated by eons, were both home to swift, agile predators perfectly adapted for life in the open ocean. In the present, dolphins glide through the oceans with remarkable speed and intelligence. As marine mammals, dolphins are warm-blooded, breathe air through lungs and give birth to live young. Their social structures are complex and their communication skills are among the most sophisticated in the animal kingdom. The dolphin's body is a marvel of evolutionary engineering. Its streamlined, torpedo-shaped form minimizes drag, allowing it to slice effortlessly through water. The paddle-like flippers provide precise control and maneuverability, while the crescent-shaped tail, or fluke, delivers powerful thrusts for rapid acceleration and agile turns. Dolphins, like all cetaceans, must surface regularly to breathe, drawing air into their lungs through a blowhole atop their heads. They nurture their young with milk and exhibit strong parental care, with calves often swimming close to their mothers for protection and guidance. Yet the dolphin's elegant body plan is not a novel creation. It is in fact a reimagining of a design that first appeared long before mammals ever entered the sea. Nature had already drafted this blueprint in a distant past, when reptiles, not mammals, ruled the oceans. Travel back approximately 180 million years to the Jurassic period, and the oceans were alive with ichthyosaurs, marine reptiles that dominated the seas as apex predators. These creatures, though separated from dolphins by an immense evolutionary gulf, bore a striking resemblance to their modern mammalian counterparts. Ichthyosaurs were not mammals, nor were they related to the dinosaurs that roamed the land. They belonged to a unique lineage of reptiles that had fully adapted to life in the water, evolving into some of the most efficient marine hunters of their time. Their evolutionary path diverged from other reptiles early on, and their anatomy was distinct from any land-dwelling creature of their era. The relationship between ichthyosaurs and dolphins is extremely distant, with each belonging to entirely separate branches of the vertebrate family tree. Yet, to the casual observer, the similarities between them are almost uncanny. Both possess a streamlined, fusiform body ideal for rapid swimming. Their torsos are elongated and muscular, reducing resistance as they move through water. Both animals feature a prominent dorsal fin for stability, and their limbs have evolved into flippers, broad, flat appendages that act as hydrofoils, providing lift and steering. Their tails, too, are remarkably similar, powerful, flexible, and shaped to deliver maximum propulsion with each beat, allowing for bursts of speed and agile pursuit of prey. This extraordinary resemblance is not a matter of chance. It is the inevitable outcome of two unrelated animals facing the same evolutionary pressures, namely the challenge of catching fast, elusive prey in the vast, open ocean. The convergence between ichthyosaurs and dolphins extends to the finest anatomical details. Their skulls are elongated and filled with conical teeth, perfect for grasping slippery fish and squid. Their eyes are large, adapted for spotting prey in dim underwater light. Fossil discoveries, some so exquisitely preserved that they retain impressions of skin and soft tissue, reveal that ichthyosaurs even shared the same type of camouflage as many modern marine animals. This adaptation, known as countershading, features a dark back and a pale belly, making the animal less visible to both predators and prey. When viewed from above, the dark back blends seamlessly with the shadowy depths of the ocean, rendering the animal nearly invisible to those looking down. From below, the light belly matches the sunlit surface, camouflaging the animal against the brightness above and protecting it from threats lurking in the deep. Further evidence from the fossil record shows that ichthyosaurs, like dolphins and other modern cetaceans, gave birth to live young. Fossils of pregnant ichthyosaurs have been found with embryos preserved inside, sometimes even in the process of being born. Remarkably, these ancient reptiles gave birth tail first, an adaptation that ensures the newborn's head remains inside the mother until the last moment, reducing the risk of drowning during birth, a solution that evolved independently in both lineages. For 40 million years after the extinction of the last ichthyosaurs, This highly specialized body plan vanished from the world's oceans. The seas were left without a creature that so perfectly embodied the role of the swift, streamlined predator. But evolution is relentless. Over time, new lineages began to explore the possibilities of aquatic life, and the process of adaptation started anew. The ancestors of today's dolphins and whales were once four-legged, land-dwelling mammals. Drawn to the water's edge, they gradually adapted to a semi-aquatic lifestyle, eventually making the full transition to life in the sea. Over millions of years, natural selection sculpted their bodies for aquatic living. Hind limbs shrank and disappeared, while the spine and tail evolved to provide powerful propulsion. The front limbs transformed into flippers, perfectly shaped for steering and balance in the water. Their bodies elongated and streamlined, echoing the form perfected by ichthyosaurs so many millions of years before. In the dolphin, we see a living echo of the ichthyosaur, a testament to the power of convergent evolution and the enduring effectiveness of a design shaped by the demands of the open sea. The story of these two animals, separated by time and ancestry, reveals how evolution, when faced with similar challenges, can arrive at remarkably similar solutions. In the radiant, sun-drenched landscape stretching across the Americas, a remarkable creature flits through the air, a living jewel known as the hummingbird. Its iridescent feathers shimmer in the sunlight, reflecting a spectrum of colours as it darts from blossom to blossom. With wings beating at astonishing speeds, sometimes up to 80 times per second, the hummingbird hovers with extraordinary precision before a flower. Its long, slender beak, perfectly adapted for the task, probes deep into the blossom to access the rich nectar hidden within. This ability to remain suspended in mid-air is a feat of biological engineering. The hummingbird's flight requires a metabolism so rapid that its heart can beat over 1,000 times per minute, and it must consume more than its own weight in nectar each day to fuel this relentless energy expenditure. Its unique ball and socket shoulder joints allow the wings to rotate in a full circle, enabling backward, forward, and even upside-down flight. Every aspect of the hummingbird's anatomy and behavior is finely tuned for its nectar-feeding lifestyle. Its vibrant plumage, rapid reflexes, and acute vision make it an icon of its environment, a creature exquisitely sculpted by millions of years of evolution. Yet, if one were to journey across the vast Atlantic into the lush gardens and meadows of Europe and Asia, a strikingly similar scene unfolds among the flowers. Here, too, a small animal hovers in front of blossoms, wings ablur, delicately sipping nectar from deep within the petals. This animal, with its rapid hovering flight and precise feeding technique, appears to mirror the hummingbird in both form and function. It is the hummingbird hawk moth, a master of aerial manoeuvring and a specialist in nectar feeding. Despite its uncanny resemblance to the hummingbird, the hawk moth is not a bird at all. It is an insect belonging to a lineage that diverged from birds hundreds of millions of years ago. Its body is covered in fine scales rather than feathers, and its wings are constructed from delicate membranes, supported by a network of veins. At a glance, the similarities between the hummingbird and the hawk moth are so profound that they can be difficult to distinguish when both are hovering at flowers. Both possess streamlined bodies, rapid wing beats, and elongated feeding structures. The hawk moth's wings beat with such speed that they produce a distinct audible hum, echoing the sound made by the hummingbird's wings. This rapid motion allows the moth to remain stationary in the air, perfectly positioned to feed. The hawk moth's feeding strategy is equally specialized. While hovering, it extends a long, coiled proboscis, sometimes longer than its own body, deep into the flower to reach the nectar. This proboscis is a marvel of evolutionary adaptation, capable of unfurling and stiffening to form a precise nectar-sipping tube. Like the hummingbird, the hawk moth is primarily active during the day, especially when nectar production in flowers is at its peak. This diurnal behavior is unusual among moths, most of which are nocturnal, highlighting the hawk moth's unique ecological niche. The resemblance between these two creatures is so striking that, in the absence of close inspection, one could easily mistake the hawk moth for a hummingbird, even though they are separated by vast evolutionary distances. This phenomenon is a classic example of convergent evolution, where unrelated organisms independently evolve similar traits as they adapt to comparable ecological roles. In this case, the hummingbird and the hawk moth have each become a functional copy of the other, despite their entirely different biological origins. Beneath the surface, however, the similarities are only skin-deep. The hummingbird's body is covered in feathers, while the hawk moth's is cloaked in scales. Their eyes, nervous systems and internal organs are fundamentally different, reflecting their separate evolutionary histories. The mechanisms that power their flight are also distinct. The hummingbird's powerful pectoral muscles are directly attached to its wing bones, allowing for precise, controlled movements. In contrast, the hawk moth's flight muscles are indirect. They deform the thorax, causing the wings to flap as a result of the thoracic movement. The hummingbird's flight is a marvel of vertebrate engineering, with muscles accounting for nearly a third of its body weight. These muscles contract rapidly and powerfully, enabling the bird to hover, dart, and even fly backward with ease. The hawk moth, on the other hand, relies on a flexible thorax. Its indirect flight muscles squeeze and release the thoracic box, causing the wings to move up and down in a rapid rhythmic motion. This system, while different, is equally effective for sustained hovering. The hummingbird's beak is a rigid structure of bone and keratin, perfectly shaped to fit into tubular flowers. Inside, a specialized forked tongue flicks in and out at high speed, using capillary action and a pumping motion to draw nectar into the mouth. The hawk moth's proboscis, by contrast, is a flexible, coiled tube made of soft tissue. When feeding, the moth unfurls this structure and stiffens it by increasing the pressure of its internal fluid, allowing it to reach deep into flowers for nectar. The driving force behind these parallel adaptations is the flowers themselves. Many plant species have evolved long, tubular blossoms that conceal their nectar deep within, accessible only to animals with the right anatomical tools. These flowers present a unique challenge. Their nectar is hidden far from the surface, protected from less specialized feeders. Only those with elongated feeding structures and the ability to hover can access this sugary reward. In this way, the flowers act as evolutionary gatekeepers, offering an exclusive invitation to any animal that can evolve the right key, be it a beak or a proboscis, to unlock their hidden nectar. Despite being separated by hundreds of millions of years of evolutionary history, the hummingbird and the hawk moth have each independently fashioned the perfect solution to this floral puzzle. Their convergence is a testament to the power of natural selection, shaping unrelated creatures into similar forms when faced with the same ecological demands. Both have arrived at the same answer, hovering flight and an elongated feeding tube, because this combination is the most effective way to exploit the resources offered by tubular flowers. In the end, the hummingbird and the hawk moth stand as two distinct answers to the same evolutionary question, each a masterpiece of adaptation, each a testament to the creative force of convergent evolution. In the quiet darkness of European meadows and tangled hedgerows, a small nocturnal mammal emerges from its daytime shelter. With a pointed snout and beady eyes, it moves deliberately, its sensitive nose twitching as it searches for food among the leaves and grass. This is the hedgehog, a creature whose presence is marked by the faint rustle of undergrowth and the occasional glint of moonlight on its spiny back. The hedgehog's most distinctive feature is its coat of sharp, rigid spines. These spines, numbering in the thousands, are modified hairs made of keratin, the same substance that forms claws and feathers in other animals. Each spine is hollow, lightweight and flexible at the base, allowing the hedgehog to move with surprising agility despite its armoured appearance. When danger threatens, the hedgehog's defence is both simple and ingenious. Powerful muscles along its back and sides contract, pulling its body into a tight, nearly spherical ball. In this posture, the hedgehog's vulnerable head, limbs and soft underbelly are completely hidden, and only a bristling array of spines faces outward. For many would-be predators, this living pincushion is simply not worth the risk. This combination of a spiny coat and a rolling defence has allowed the hedgehog to thrive in a world filled with predators. It is a strategy honed by millions of years of evolution, perfectly suited to a small, slow-moving animal that forages on the ground. Far away, across vast oceans and continents, lies the island of Madagascar. Isolated for over 80 million years, Madagascar is a living laboratory of evolution, home to an astonishing array of animals found nowhere else on Earth. Its forests and grasslands are filled with creatures that have adapted in remarkable ways to the island's unique environments. Among the leaf litter and tangled roots of Madagascar's forests, another small spiny mammal prowls the night. At first glance, it could easily be mistaken for a hedgehog. Its body is covered in stiff, pointed spines, and it moves with the same cautious, deliberate gait, nose to the ground as it searches for insects and other small prey. Yet despite its striking resemblance, this animal is not a hedgehog. It is the greater hedgehog Tenrec, a species found only on Madagascar. The similarity between the hedgehog and the tenrec is so remarkable that, without close examination, it is easy to believe they are close relatives. Both are roughly the same size, with compact bodies, short legs and a dense covering of spines. Both are nocturnal, emerging at night to hunt for insects, worms and other invertebrates. Their diets are nearly identical, consisting mainly of beetles, caterpillars, earthworms and other small creatures found in the soil and leaf litter. Both use their keen sense of smell to locate prey, and both play important roles in controlling insect populations within their respective ecosystems. Most astonishing of all, the tenrec has evolved the very same defensive strategy as the hedgehog. When threatened, it too curls into a tight ball, presenting a shield of spines to any would-be attacker. This convergence in form and behaviour is a testament to the power of natural selection. In the forests of Madagascar, the tenrec occupies the same ecological niche as the hedgehog does in Europe. Both are ground-dwelling insectivores, both are preyed upon by larger animals, and both have evolved similar solutions to the challenges of survival. Yet beneath these similarities lies a profound difference. The hedgehog and the tenrec are not close relatives. Their resemblance is not the result of shared ancestry, but of convergent evolution, where unrelated species independently evolve similar traits in response to similar environmental pressures. The evolutionary paths of these two animals diverged over 100 million years ago during the age of the dinosaurs. Since then, their lineages have followed separate courses, shaped by the unique challenges and opportunities of their respective worlds. The hedgehog belongs to the order Eulipotifla, a group that includes shrews and moles, small insect-eating mammals found across much of the world. The tenrec, on the other hand, is part of the order Afrosauricida, a lineage that, astonishingly, is more closely related to elephants and manatees than to any hedgehog or shrew. The shared appearance of the hedgehog and the tenrec is a classic example of convergent evolution, driven by the universal threat of predation. In both Europe and Madagascar, small, slow-moving mammals faced similar dangers from predators, and both found the same solution: a coat of spines and the ability to roll into a ball. For animals of their size and habits, a spiny coat is an exceptional deterrent. The ability to protect the vulnerable head and underbelly by rolling up is a life-saving adaptation, one that has allowed both species to persist in the face of constant danger. Remarkably, the hedgehog and the tenrec arrived at this solution independently, each evolving spines and defensive behaviors through separate evolutionary pathways. This is the essence of convergence. Different origins, but the same outcome. Yet a closer look reveals the subtle but telling differences that betray their separate histories. The structure of their spines, their internal anatomy, and even their reproductive systems all reflect their distinct evolutionary backgrounds. The spines of a hedgehog are hollow, lightweight and flexible, each one anchored in the skin by a small muscle that allows for limited movement. These spines are essentially specialized hairs, adapted over millions of years to provide maximum protection with minimal weight. In contrast, the spines of a tenrec are solid and constructed differently. They are denser and less flexible, reflecting a separate evolutionary origin. This difference in spine structure is a clear indicator of their unrelated ancestry. The internal anatomy of the tenrec is even more revealing. Unlike most placental mammals, tenrecs possess a cloaca, a single opening for excretion and reproduction. This is a primitive trait, more commonly found in birds and reptiles, and is extremely rare among mammals. The hedgehog, by contrast, has the typical mammalian arrangement of separate openings. The tenrec family in Madagascar is a living showcase of evolutionary experimentation. Isolated from the rest of the world, tenrecs have diversified into a wide range of forms, each adapted to a different ecological role. Some tenrecs have become expert swimmers, others are burrowers, climbers, or ground dwellers. This process, known as adaptive radiation, has allowed tenrecs to fill ecological niches that elsewhere are occupied by entirely different groups of mammals. As a result, Madagascar is home to tenrecs that resemble otters, shrews, and mice, each one a product of natural selection acting on a single ancestral lineage. Of all these remarkable forms, the greater hedgehog tenrec stands out as the most spectacular example of convergent evolution. Its uncanny resemblance to the European hedgehog is a vivid illustration of how similar environmental pressures, such as the need for defense against predators, can shape unrelated animals into nearly identical forms, even when separated by millions of years and thousands of miles. Deep within the world's forests, the canopy forms a vibrant, multi-layered ecosystem teeming with life. This uppermost layer of the forest is a realm of abundance where branches intertwine and leaves form a dense green roof. Here, food is plentiful. Fruits, flowers, seeds and insects are all within reach for those who can navigate the heights. The canopy also offers shelter, protection from ground-based predators, and a unique microclimate that supports a dazzling array of species. Yet, despite its richness, the canopy is not a continuous expanse. Instead, it is fragmented, with each tree or cluster of trees forming isolated islands separated by open stretches of air. These gaps can be daunting obstacles, especially for small mammals whose survival depends on moving efficiently from one food source or shelter to another. For a small mammal perched high above the ground, the journey from one tree to the next is fraught with danger. Descending to the forest floor exposes them to a host of lurking predators, snakes, carnivorous mammals, and birds of prey. The ground is a perilous place, and every trip down and back up increases the risk of being caught. To overcome this challenge, some mammals have evolved a remarkable adaptation: gliding. Unlike true powered flight, gliding is a controlled descent, where the animal launches itself from a high point and uses a specialized membrane to catch the air, steering and slowing its fall. This adaptation transforms a risky leap into a safe, energy-efficient journey across the canopy, allowing these mammals to travel impressive distances without ever touching the ground. What is truly extraordinary is that this solution, gliding, has evolved independently in at least 4 separate groups of tree-dwelling mammals, each on a different continent. Despite their distant evolutionary relationships, these mammals have all arrived at a similar answer to the same ecological problem. Each lineage, separated by millions of years of evolution, has developed its own version of the gliding membrane or patagium, demonstrating a striking example of convergent evolution where unrelated species independently evolve similar traits. In the woodlands and forests of Australia, the sugar glider is a prime example of this phenomenon. This small nocturnal marsupial is instantly recognizable by its large dark eyes and soft grey fur. The sugar glider is highly social, often living in groups, and is most active at night, foraging for nectar, sap, insects and fruit. Like all marsupials, the sugar glider nurtures its young in a pouch. After birth, the tiny, underdeveloped joey crawls into the mother's pouch, where it continues to grow and develop in safety, clinging to a teat until it is ready to face the outside world. The sugar glider's most distinctive feature is its patagium, a thin, flexible membrane of skin that stretches from its wrists to its ankles. This structure is supported by elongated bones in the limbs, allowing the animal to spread its arms and legs wide, creating a broad surface area to catch the air. When a sugar glider leaps from a tree, it extends its limbs, transforming its body into a living parachute. With a single bound, it can glide over 50 meters, steering with subtle movements of its limbs and tail to land precisely on a chosen branch. This ability allows it to exploit food sources and nesting sites that would otherwise be out of reach. Across the vast Pacific Ocean, in the forests of North America, another gliding mammal has evolved, the flying squirrel. These agile rodents are found in both temperate and boreal forests, where they play a crucial role in seed dispersal and forest ecology. Despite their name, flying squirrels are not capable of true flight. They are rodents, entirely unrelated to the marsupial sugar gliders of Australia. Their large, round eyes are adapted for nocturnal vision, and their soft fur provides insulation against cold nights. The flying squirrel's patagium stretches from its wrists to its ankles, just like the sugar gliders. When it leaps, the membrane billows out, allowing the squirrel to glide gracefully through the forest. It can make sharp turns in midair, using its tail as a rudder, and land with remarkable precision. In the rainforests of Southeast Asia, the colugo, or flying lemur, takes gliding to an entirely new level. Despite its common name, the colugo is neither a lemur nor capable of powered flight. It belongs to its own unique order, Dermoptera, and is one of the most specialized gliders in the animal kingdom. The colugo is the undisputed champion of gliding mammals. Its patagium is the most extensive of any mammal, stretching from the neck to the tips of the fingers and toes, and even connecting to the tip of the tail. This enormous surface area allows the colugo to glide for over 100 meters, losing very little altitude in the process. The colugo's patagium is supported by a unique arrangement of muscles and bones, giving it exceptional control over its glides. It can maneuver around obstacles, adjust its speed, and land with pinpoint accuracy, making it a true master of the arboreal superhighway. With its vast gliding membrane, the colugo can travel between distant trees, accessing food and shelter that would be impossible to reach by climbing alone. Its ability to glide long distances with minimal loss of height is unmatched among mammals. In the dense forests of Central Africa, yet another group of gliding mammals has evolved, the anomalures, also known as scaly-tailed squirrels. These rodents are named for the distinctive scales on the underside of their tails, which help them grip tree bark as they climb. Anomalures are rodents, but they belong to a completely different family from the flying squirrels of North America. Their evolutionary path to gliding is entirely independent, yet the result is strikingly similar. Like the other gliding mammals, anomalures have developed a patagium that stretches between their limbs. This adaptation allows them to launch themselves from tree trunks and glide efficiently through the forest, avoiding the dangers of the ground below. These four groups, the marsupial sugar gliders of Australia, the North American flying squirrels, the Southeast Asian colugos, and the African anomalures, each began their evolutionary journey from a different starting point, separated by vast distances and millions of years of divergence. They occupy four distinct branches of the mammalian family tree, representing marsupials, rodents, and the unique colugos. Their last common ancestor lived long before the first forests even appeared on Earth. Yet, when faced with the same ecological challenge, how to move safely and efficiently between the isolated islands of the forest canopy, they all converged on the same anatomical innovation, a membrane of skin stretched between the limbs, forming a natural wing. This remarkable convergence is a testament to the power of natural selection and the constraints imposed by physics and environment. The repeated evolution of gliding mammals, each with their own unique history, demonstrates how similar challenges can shape the bodies and behaviors of animals in strikingly similar ways, time and time again, across the vast tapestry of life. Deep beneath the surface, an entire universe exists, shrouded in perpetual darkness and filled with dense, compacted earth. This is a world where light never penetrates, where the air is thin and the soil presses in from all sides. Here the environment is unforgiving, oxygen is scarce, space is limited, and every movement requires immense effort. Yet within this hidden realm, a remarkable group of animals has evolved to not only survive but to thrive. Life in this subterranean domain demands extraordinary adaptations. The creatures that inhabit these tunnels must contend with crushing soil, the constant threat of suffocation, and the challenge of finding food in a place where resources are scattered and hard to reach. Only those with the most specialized body plans can endure such extremes. The perfect burrower is a marvel of evolutionary engineering. It must be a living digging machine equipped with formidable claws to break through earth, a body streamlined to slip through narrow passages, and senses finely tuned to a world without light. Sight becomes almost useless, replaced by touch and vibration. The ability to survive on minimal oxygen is essential, as is the capacity to navigate a labyrinth of tunnels with unerring precision. These strict requirements have acted as a powerful evolutionary filter, shaping a diverse array of animals into a form that is instantly recognizable: the mole. Despite their distant ancestry, these creatures have converged on nearly identical solutions to the challenges of underground life. The compact, cylindrical body plan of the mole has arisen independently at least 3 times, on 3 separate continents, among mammals that share only the most ancient of common ancestors. This is a striking example of convergent evolution, where unrelated lineages arrive at the same solution to a shared problem. In the temperate soils of Europe and North America, the true moles have carved out their niche. These animals are the archetype of subterranean life, perfectly adapted to a world beneath the surface. True moles are insectivores, sharing ancestry with shrews and hedgehogs. Their evolutionary lineage is marked by a diet of insects and other small invertebrates, which they hunt relentlessly in the darkness of their tunnels. Their forelimbs are masterpieces of adaptation, broad, spade-like paws angled outward, each digit tipped with a powerful claw. These limbs act as natural shovels, allowing the mole to move vast quantities of soil with surprising speed and efficiency. The muscles in their shoulders and chest are exceptionally developed, providing the strength needed to tunnel through even the most compacted earth. The body of a true mole is a streamlined cylinder, with no discernible neck to catch on the walls of its tunnel. Its eyes are tiny, often covered by a thin layer of skin, rendering them nearly useless in the perpetual darkness. External ears are absent, replaced by small openings hidden beneath the fur, preventing dirt from clogging the ear canal. The fur of a mole is dense and velvety, lying flat in any direction. This unique adaptation allows the animal to move backward through its tunnels as easily as it moves forward, a crucial ability when navigating the tight, winding passages of its underground home. The silhouette of the mole, moving silently through the earth, has become the classic blueprint for a life spent entirely underground, a testament to the power of natural selection in shaping form to function. Far to the south, in the arid deserts of southern Africa, another remarkable burrower has evolved, the golden mole. Here, the challenges of underground life are compounded by shifting sands and extreme dryness. Despite its name and its striking resemblance to the true mole, the golden mole is not a close relative. Its similarities are the result of convergent evolution, not shared ancestry. The golden mole belongs to an ancient African lineage more closely related to elephants and tenrecs than to the true moles of the north. Its evolutionary journey has taken a different path, yet the destination is remarkably similar. The golden mole's body is a near-perfect echo of the true mole's form, compact, cylindrical, and built for digging. This is a striking example of how similar environmental pressures can sculpt unrelated animals into almost identical shapes. Like its northern counterpart, the golden mole possesses a cylindrical body, powerful forelimbs with enlarged claws, and dense water-repellent fur that protects it from the abrasive sand. Its eyes are completely covered by skin, rendering it blind, and it lacks any external ear structures, further streamlining its head for life beneath the sand. The golden mole has evolved unique features for its sandy environment. Its nose is protected by a tough, leathery pad, perfect for pushing through loose soil. Deep within its skull, massive inner ear bones allow it to sense the faintest vibrations, signals of prey moving through the sand or the approach of danger. On the other side of the world, in the arid, sun-baked landscapes of Australia, yet another mole-like creature has evolved, the marsupial mole. Here the sands are dry and shifting, and the underground world is in constant motion. The marsupial mole is a true marvel of adaptation, perfectly suited to a life spent entirely beneath the surface of the desert. As a marsupial, it is part of a lineage that includes kangaroos and koalas. The marsupial mole raises its tiny, helpless young in a pouch, protecting them as they develop in the safety of the underground world. In every way that matters, the marsupial mole is a mole. Its body, its habits, and its adaptations all echo those of its distant counterparts. The marsupial mole's body is tubular and covered in silky fur, which helps it glide through loose sand. Its front feet are equipped with enormous claws, perfectly shaped for digging and swimming through the ever-shifting substrate. Its eyes are reduced to tiny, functionless vestiges, buried beneath the skin, leaving the animal completely blind. In the darkness of its world, vision is unnecessary. The marsupial mole moves through the sand in a unique way, swimming beneath the surface. As it passes, the sand collapses behind it, erasing all trace of its passage and leaving no permanent tunnel. The true mole, the golden mole, and the marsupial mole, three animals separated by vast distances and millions of years of evolution, yet united by their shared mastery of the underground world. Each is a testament to the power of natural selection, converging on the same solution to the same set of challenges. When faced with the relentless physics of digging, these animals all became moles, living blueprints for survival in the unseen world beneath the earth. Among all the extraordinary stories of convergent evolution in the natural world, there is one pattern so prevalent, so striking, that it has earned its own scientific term, carcinization. This phenomenon is not a mere curiosity, but a profound testament to the power of natural selection and the relentless drive toward optimal forms in the animal kingdom. Carcinization describes the remarkable evolutionary tendency for a wide array of crustacean lineages, often separated by millions of years and vast evolutionary distances, to independently evolve into a crab-like body plan. This transformation is not limited to a single family or genus, but has occurred repeatedly across the crustacean tree of life, as if the universe itself is drawn to the elegance of the crab. The frequency of this evolutionary event is so high that the crab form appears to be a kind of evolutionary endpoint, a recurring destination for crustaceans adapting to life on the sea floor. True crabs, king crabs, porcelain crabs, and many others have all converged on this same body plan, despite their diverse ancestries. For crustaceans inhabiting the complex, ever-shifting world of the ocean floor, the pressures of natural selection are immense. The seafloor is a realm of predators and prey, of shifting sands and rocky crevices, where only the most adaptable forms can thrive. Again and again evolution has favoured the crab-like design, as if it were the ultimate answer to the challenges of benthic life. This body plan, with its compact, armoured form and specialised limbs, is one of nature's most successful and frequently repeated designs. The crab blueprint is not just common, it is a recurring masterpiece sculpted by the pressures of survival and competition. The crab's structure is exceptionally well suited for life on the ocean floor. Its wide, flattened body allows it to squeeze into narrow crevices, hide beneath rocks and remain stable on shifting substrates. The robust, chitinous carapace acts as a shield, protecting vital organs from both predators and the abrasive environment. The wide, flat shell, or carapace, is more than just armour. It provides a low centre of gravity, anchoring the crab against strong currents and turbulent waters. This stability makes it difficult for predators to flip the crab over, a critical advantage as an overturned crustacean is vulnerable to attack. In contrast, many of the crab's relatives, such as lobsters and shrimp, possess long, muscular tails. These tails are excellent for rapid backward escapes in open water, but in the cluttered, obstacle-filled environment of the seafloor, they become a liability. The elongated tail is exposed, easily grasped by predators and cumbersome in tight spaces. The evolutionary solution found in crabs is both elegant and efficient. The abdomen, once long and exposed, is now tucked tightly beneath the body, protected by the carapace. This adaptation not only shields the vulnerable tail but also conserves energy, as the crab no longer needs to maintain a large muscular appendage for swimming. The crab's unique body plan also enables a distinctive mode of locomotion, sideways scuttling. This movement is powered by specialized legs that extend outward from the body, allowing the crab to dart rapidly across the substrate. Sideways motion is highly effective for navigating the maze-like terrain of the sea floor and for evading predators that are adapted for forward pursuit. The advantages of this design are so profound that many animals commonly referred to as crabs are, in fact, not true crabs at all. They are evolutionary mimics, species that have independently adopted the crab-like form through the process of carcinization. These impostors are evolutionary converts, having abandoned their ancestral shapes to embrace the crab way of life. Their resemblance to true crabs is not a matter of close kinship, but of convergent evolution, nature's repeated solution to the same set of challenges. King crabs, for example, are renowned for their massive claws and long, spindly legs, yet their ancestors were more similar to hermit crabs, creatures that once relied on borrowed shells for protection. The king crab's slightly asymmetrical tucked abdomen is a subtle but telling clue to its origins. This feature is a vestige of a time when its forebears lived within the spirals of snail shells, their bodies shaped by the need to fit into these protective homes. Porcelain crabs, too, are not true crabs, but are more closely related to squat lobsters. Despite this, they have independently evolved the flat carapace and folded abdomen, perfectly imitating the true crab form. Their transformation is a striking example of how powerful the pressures of the environment can be in shaping anatomy. The list of such evolutionary converts is extensive and diverse, each with its own unique journey toward the crab-like ideal. The hairy stone crab is another remarkable example. With its dense covering of setae and robust flattened body, it has independently undergone carcinization, adapting to a life of concealment and defense among rocks. Perhaps the most astonishing case is the coconut crab, the largest land-dwelling arthropod on the planet. This giant terrestrial crustacean also traces its ancestry to hermit crabs, which once relied on shells for protection. Over time, the coconut crab abandoned its shell-dwelling lifestyle, grew to immense size, and developed a body plan that is unmistakably crab-like. Its powerful claws and armoured carapace allow it to thrive in a terrestrial environment far from the ocean's edge. The repeated emergence of the crab form across so many unrelated lineages is a vivid illustration of a fundamental evolutionary principle. When faced with similar challenges, life often finds similar solutions. The crab shape is not merely a coincidence, but a peak of crustacean engineering, honed by countless generations of adaptation. The crab is more than just a single animal. It is an evolutionary archetype, a recurring answer to the demands of life on the seafloor and beyond. Again and again, evolution has rediscovered this optimal design, a testament to the ingenuity and power of natural selection in shaping the living world. Throughout the vast tapestry of life on Earth, certain patterns and forms appear again and again, as if nature is following a set of blueprints. When we observe the sleek, torpedo-shaped bodies of dolphins, fish and seals, or the powerful digging limbs of moles and armadillos, we are witnessing a phenomenon known as convergent evolution. This raises a profound question. Why does evolution, a process driven by random genetic mutations and natural selection, so often arrive at the same solutions to life's challenges? The answer is not a lack of imagination on nature's part, but rather the result of the powerful constraints and opportunities imposed by the physical world. Evolution is not a process that occurs in isolation. It is deeply influenced by the unyielding laws of physics, chemistry, and ecology. Every living organism is shaped by these forces, which define what is possible and what is not. Evolution is, at its core, a process of problem-solving. The problems that life must solve, how to move efficiently, how to find and consume food, how to avoid being eaten, and how to survive in extreme environments, are universal. These challenges are not unique to any one lineage, but are faced by countless species across the globe and throughout time. The struggle to move swiftly through water, to burrow through earth, to glide between trees, or to endure searing heat and freezing cold are all dictated by the same fundamental principles. The laws of physics, for example, determine how water resists movement, how air supports gliding, and how heat is lost or retained. Chemistry governs how energy is stored and used, how toxins are neutralized, and how nutrients are absorbed. Ecology sets the stage for competition, cooperation, and the endless dance between predator and prey. These unchanging laws create what scientists call an adaptive landscape, a metaphorical terrain of peaks and valleys, where each peak represents a highly effective solution to a particular challenge, and each valley represents a less successful design. In this landscape, Some solutions are simply better than others. For example, a streamlined body is far more efficient for moving through water than a bulky or irregular shape. A spiky coat offers better protection against predators than smooth skin. Imagine evolution as a climber navigating this landscape, always seeking the highest peaks, those rare combinations of traits that offer the greatest survival and reproductive success. The peaks are the optimal solutions, the summits of evolutionary achievement. The valleys, by contrast, are the dead ends and less effective adaptations that are gradually abandoned over time. Each species begins its evolutionary journey from a different starting point, shaped by its unique ancestry and genetic heritage. But the challenges they face are often remarkably similar, and the landscape they must traverse is shaped by the same physical and ecological rules. While the starting positions may differ, the direction of movement is often the same, towards the nearest and highest peak. Over time, many species independently find their way up the slopes of the same peak, converging on similar solutions because those solutions are the most effective available. For instance, the torpedo-like shape of dolphins, fish and seals is a peak of hydrodynamic efficiency. This form minimizes drag and maximizes speed, making it the best possible design for life in fast-moving water. Similarly, a coat of sharp spines, as seen in hedgehogs and porcupines, is a peak of defensive strategy, deterring predators with a simple but effective barrier. The gliding membrane of flying squirrels and colugos represents a peak for arboreal travel, allowing these animals to move efficiently between trees without descending to the dangerous forest floor. Natural selection is the relentless force that drives life towards these peaks. It acts as a filter, favoring traits that improve survival and reproduction and eliminating those that do not. While the genetic mutations that fuel evolution are random, the process of selection is anything but random. Natural selection is a rigorous editor, constantly testing new variations and keeping only those that offer a real advantage in the struggle for existence. Traits that help an animal catch prey, escape predators, or care for offspring are favored and become more common over generations. When a marine reptile like the Ichthyosaur and a marine mammal like the dolphin both need to catch swift fish, natural selection will favor any mutation that reduces drag and increases thrust. Over millions of years, this process gradually sculpts both animals into similar shapes, despite their distant ancestry. The result is a striking convergence. Two unrelated animals, separated by vast stretches of evolutionary history, end up looking and behaving in remarkably similar ways. The same principle applies to the hummingbird and the hawk moth. Both need to access nectar deep within flowers, and both have evolved the ability to hover in place and reach with long, specialized mouth parts. Selection favors any adaptation that allows for precise hovering and efficient feeding, leading to similar solutions in both birds and insects. The environment acts as a constant test, presenting obstacles and opportunities that only the best adapted organisms can overcome. Whether it is the challenge of catching prey or constructing a safe nest, only those with the most effective adaptations succeed and pass on their genes. This is why convergent evolution is such compelling evidence for the power of natural selection. It shows that life is not a random explosion of forms, but a structured process guided by the recurring demands of survival. Again and again, evolution finds the same answers to the same questions, producing similar forms in distant and unrelated lineages. Consider the marsupial mole of Australia and the true mole of North America. Despite being separated by millions of years and belonging to entirely different groups, both have evolved nearly identical bodies for digging and living underground. Their environments have shaped them in parallel, pushing them towards the same functional endpoint, a testament to the power of natural selection and the constraints of the physical world. In essence, evolution operates with a playbook of winning strategies. The specific players may change, but the rules of the game remain constant. Species come and go, adapt and diversify, but the same challenges ensure that the same solutions are rediscovered time and time again. The game of life is played on a board defined by the laws of nature, and the most successful strategies are those that best navigate its challenges. This is why across the ages and continents, evolution keeps making the same animals, because the rules of survival and the peaks of adaptation remain unchanged. When we examine the phenomenon of convergent evolution, we see that life, wherever it arises, is shaped by the same fundamental forces: physics, chemistry, and the relentless pressure to survive and reproduce. These forces are not unique to any one world. They are woven into the very fabric of the universe. The laws that govern the most efficient ways to swim through water, soar through the air, or perceive light are universal. Whether on a distant exoplanet or in a primordial sea, the same physical constraints apply, shaping the bodies and abilities of living things in remarkably similar ways. This understanding leads us to a profound question. If life has taken root on other worlds, what forms might it take? What shapes, colours and abilities would evolution sculpt in the crucible of an alien environment? Popular imagination often conjures up extraterrestrial beings that are wildly bizarre, with forms and features that defy all logic. Yet the principle of convergence tells us that while alien life may be strange, it is also likely to be shaped by the same evolutionary solutions that have proven effective elsewhere. Convergent evolution suggests that, across the cosmos, we might encounter creatures that, despite their alien origins, bear a striking resemblance to familiar forms. This is not because they share ancestry, but because they have independently arrived at similar solutions to the same challenges. On a planet with conditions similar to those found on Earth, liquid water, a breathable atmosphere and a stable climate, evolutionary pressures would likely favour certain body plans and adaptations. The environment acts as a filter, selecting for traits that best solve the problems of survival. Consider a world dominated by vast, deep oceans. In such an environment, the challenge of moving efficiently through water is paramount. Any swift, intelligent predator that evolves in these alien seas would face the same hydrodynamic constraints as aquatic animals elsewhere. The need to minimize drag and maximize speed would drive the evolution of streamlined bodies, smooth skin, and powerful muscles. The most efficient shape for high-speed swimming is a torpedo-like form, with a rounded front tapering to a narrow tail. This design reduces resistance and allows for rapid, agile movement through the water. Fins or flippers would likely evolve for steering and stability, allowing the creature to maneuver with precision. These appendages could take many forms, broad and flat for gliding or narrow and pointed for quick turns, but their function would be dictated by the same physical laws. A powerful tail, capable of generating thrust with each sweep, would be essential for propulsion. Whether vertical or horizontal, the tail's movement would be optimized for the animal's size, speed, and hunting style. Beneath the surface, the creature's internal anatomy might be utterly alien, perhaps based on silicon rather than carbon, or using a different solvent than water. Yet the external form would be shaped by the same need to move efficiently and survive in a watery world. From a distance, such a being might look remarkably like a dolphin or an ichthyosaur, not because of shared heritage, but because the demands of the environment have sculpted similar solutions. The physics of water imposes strict requirements on any creature that wishes to move quickly, and so the streamlined shape is a recurring answer to this universal problem. This is why, on Earth, both dolphins and ichthyosaurs, separated by millions of years and entirely different ancestries, evolved nearly identical forms. The same could happen on countless other worlds. Now, imagine a planet with a dense atmosphere and towering tree-like structures. In such a world, the challenge is to move efficiently between the branches high above the ground. Small creatures living in this canopy would face the same risks of falling and the same opportunities for foraging as their counterparts in other forests. The ability to glide from branch to branch would be a powerful adaptation, allowing these animals to escape predators, find food and explore new territory with minimal energy. We might expect to see alien analogues of flying squirrels or sugar gliders, creatures with membranes of skin stretched between their limbs, forming natural wings for controlled gliding. These membranes could be thin and translucent or thick and colourful, depending on the needs of the species and the properties of the atmosphere. Leaping and gliding through the alien air, these creatures would exploit the vertical dimension of their world, just as gliders do in other forests. On a world bathed in the light of a bright sun, the ability to sense and respond to light would be a crucial evolutionary advantage. Eyes, or eye-like organs, would almost certainly evolve, perhaps in forms and arrangements never seen before, but always with the same purpose, to detect and interpret the electromagnetic spectrum. Along the shores of alien seas, where the land meets the water, life faces a different set of challenges: crashing waves, shifting tides, and rocky crevices. Here, creatures must be able to cling to surfaces, hide from predators, and withstand the relentless pounding of the surf. The evolution of a tough, compact body with multiple legs for stability, much like the crab, could be a recurring solution, offering both defense and agility in a hazardous environment. Of course, this does not mean that alien life would be identical to familiar animals. The details could be astonishingly different, shaped by unique chemistries, environments, and evolutionary histories. The very building blocks of life might differ, perhaps using silicon instead of carbon or ammonia instead of water. Alien skin could glow, shimmer, or be armoured in ways never seen before. Senses could be tuned to detect magnetic fields, ultraviolet light, or vibrations in the ground, stimuli that are invisible or imperceptible elsewhere. The evolutionary tree of life on another world would be filled with unexpected branches, each representing a unique solution to the challenges of existence. Yet, the principle of convergence gives us a powerful tool for speculation. It tells us that, while the details may differ, the broad strokes of evolution are often repeated. Function dictates form: limbs for walking, wings for flying, eyes for seeing. These are solutions that arise again and again wherever life faces the same problems. The fundamental challenges of existence, locomotion, predation, perception, and survival are constants, no matter the world. When the problems are the same, evolution often discovers similar answers, echoing across the cosmos in forms both familiar and strange. The solutions may have an uncanny resemblance, not because of shared ancestry, but because of the shared logic of survival. In the end, the story of life, wherever it unfolds, is a story of adaptation, innovation, and the endless search for survival. Across the vastness of space, the echoes of familiar forms may be found, shaped by the same universal forces, whispering the story of life in every corner of the cosmos. Reptiles, with their ancient lineage and remarkable adaptability, provide some of the most striking examples of convergent evolution in the natural world. Across continents and eras, these cold-blooded survivors have independently evolved similar forms, behaviors, and survival strategies, even when separated by millions of years and vast distances. Consider the case of the monitor lizards of Africa, Asia, and Australia, and the large predatory tigers of South America. Though they hail from different evolutionary branches, both have developed long, muscular bodies, powerful limbs, and forked tongues for detecting prey. Their skulls, teeth and hunting techniques are uncannily alike, shaped by the pressures of pursuing similar prey in similar environments. Elsewhere, in the deserts of North America and Australia, the horned lizard and the thorny devil have each evolved a spiky, armoured appearance. These reptiles use their formidable body armour for defence, their coloration for camouflage, and their specialised diets to thrive in harsh, arid climates. Despite being separated by oceans and ancestry, their resemblance is a testament to how environmental challenges can sculpt convergent solutions. In the lush canopies of tropical forests, gliding reptiles have emerged more than once. The Draco lizard of Southeast Asia and the extinct Ichthyosaurids of prehistoric Europe both evolved elongated ribs supporting wing-like membranes, allowing them to glide from tree to tree. This adaptation, seen in vastly different lineages, highlights how the need to escape predators and travel efficiently through the forest can lead to the same aerodynamic innovations. Even in aquatic environments, convergence leaves its mark. Marine reptiles like the extinct plesiosaurs and modern-day sea snakes have both developed paddle-shaped limbs and streamlined bodies for life in water, despite their distant evolutionary paths. Their adaptations allow for agile swimming and efficient hunting beneath the waves. The mechanisms behind these convergent traits are rooted in the relentless pressures of natural selection. When faced with similar challenges, be it predation, locomotion or environmental extremes, reptiles repeatedly evolve the tools and tactics that best ensure their survival. Genetic mutations, environmental filtering, and the gradual accumulation of advantageous traits all play a part in this evolutionary symphony. Convergent evolution in reptiles is a powerful reminder that nature often finds the same answers to the same problems, regardless of where or when they arise. Across deserts, forests, and oceans, the echoes of familiar forms resound, shaped not by shared ancestry, but by the universal logic of survival. When we think of convergent evolution, animals often steal the spotlight. But in the silent green world of plants, this phenomenon unfolds on a breathtaking scale. Across continents and epochs, plants have independently arrived at remarkably similar solutions to life's persistent challenges, crafting parallel forms and functions in response to their environments. Consider the deserts, harsh, sun-scorched and water-starved. Here, cacti in the Americas and euphorbias in Africa have both evolved into fleshy, spiny sentinels. Despite being unrelated, both groups store water in thick stems and ward off herbivores with formidable thorns, their ribbed bodies expanding and contracting with the rhythm of rare desert rains. Their roots spread wide but shallow, maximizing every drop of moisture. In the dense, shadowy understory of tropical forests, climbing plants face the challenge of reaching precious sunlight. Vines such as the South American passionflower and the Asian rattan have independently developed tendrils, delicate spiraling appendages that grasp onto supports and hoist their leaves toward the canopy. These ingenious climbers transform the vertical landscape into a living ladder, a testament to the shared logic of survival. The aquatic world tells a similar story. Water lilies of the old world and lotuses of the new have both mastered the art of floating. Their broad, waxy leaves spread wide on the water's surface, capturing sunlight while repelling rain and deterring pests. Their flowers rise above the waves, bright beacons for pollinators, ensuring the next generation finds its place in the sun. Even the struggle with predators has led to extraordinary convergence. Pitcher plants in Southeast Asia and North America have evolved deep, slippery traps filled with digestive fluids. Unsuspecting insects, lured by sweet nectar, slip and fall, meeting a sticky end that feeds the plant. Despite their distant lineages, these botanical hunters have crafted nearly identical mechanisms for survival. Across the globe, plants wage a quiet war against the elements, predators, and competition. Time and again their evolutionary paths have converged, producing similar leaves, roots, and reproductive strategies, all shaped by the relentless pressures of nature. The story of plants is a story of innovation and resilience, of life finding a way, again and again, on the grand stage of evolution. In the grand theatre of evolution, mimicry is one of nature's most ingenious performances. Across the animal kingdom, countless species have mastered the art of deception, not through acting, but through adaptation. Their bodies become disguises, their colours and shapes transformed to mislead predators, prey, and even rivals. There are many types of mimicry, each with its own evolutionary significance. Batesian mimicry is perhaps the most famous. Here, harmless animals imitate the warning signals of dangerous or unpalatable species. The scarlet king snake, for example, sports vivid red, black and yellow bands, closely resembling the venomous coral snake. This simple resemblance is often enough to deter would-be predators who have learned the hard way that such colours usually spell trouble. Then there's Mullerian mimicry, a mutual alliance among the truly dangerous. Multiple species, like various toxic butterflies in the genus Heliconius, share similar warning patterns. By converging on the same colours and shapes, they reinforce the message, "Stay away." Predators learn faster, and each species benefits from the collective reputation. Aggressive mimicry flips the script. Predators and parasites disguise themselves as something benign, or even appealing to their victims. The anglerfish uses a fleshy lure, wriggling like a tasty worm, to draw prey close enough to strike. The orchid mantis, with its delicate white and pink limbs, perfectly mimics a flower, luring pollinators to their doom. Some mimicry is all about blending in. Insects like stick insects and leaf-tailed geckos vanish against bark and foliage, their bodies sculpted by evolution into living camouflage. This form of mimicry, known as crypsis, is a silent contest of survival, where being unseen is the ultimate defense. Mimicry is more than illusion. It is evolution's response to the constant pressures of survival. Through trial and error over countless generations, these remarkable adaptations emerge, turning ordinary animals into masters of disguise. In the endless arms race between hunter and hunted, mimicry is one of nature's most dazzling strategies, a testament to the creativity and complexity of life. Beneath the shimmering surface of lakes, rivers and oceans, evolution has woven a tapestry of remarkable similarities. Across the vast stretches of time and geography, creatures from distant branches of the tree of life have independently acquired astonishingly similar adaptations to thrive in aquatic worlds. Consider the streamlined bodies slicing through water. From the muscular torpedoes of dolphins and sharks to the elegant forms of penguins and ichthyosaurs, this shape minimizes drag, allowing for swift, efficient movement. Yet these animals are separated by millions of years and countless evolutionary paths. Mammals, fish, reptiles and birds all converging on the same solution. Fins and flippers tell a similar story. Seals, sea turtles and even extinct marine reptiles like plesiosaurs have transformed their limbs into powerful paddles. The bones inside may reveal their ancestry, but their outward form is shaped by the relentless demands of swimming. Breathing underwater requires its own set of innovations. Gills evolved in fish and crustaceans, extracting oxygen from water with delicate efficiency. Meanwhile, aquatic mammals like whales and manatees have developed large lungs and the ability to hold their breath for astonishing lengths of time, surfacing only when necessary. Some adaptations go deeper still. The cuttlefish, a mollusk, and the electric eel, a fish, have both evolved the ability to sense or generate electricity in the murky depths, each using their power for hunting or defense. Camouflage is common too. Octopuses and flatfish can change colour or even texture, vanishing into the sea floor to ambush prey or avoid predators. In the world's rivers, amphibious animals like axolotls and aquatic frogs retain juvenile features into adulthood, allowing them to remain fully aquatic. Even insects have found their niche. Water beetles and backswimmers trap air bubbles or develop hydrodynamic bodies, mastering the art of underwater life. Though these animals are worlds apart in ancestry, evolution has guided them toward the same remarkable solutions. Aquatic environments present universal challenges, and time and again nature's creativity echoes beneath the surface, shaping life into forms both familiar and strange. From coral reefs to shadowy riverbeds, aquatic adaptations are a living showcase of convergent evolution, where necessity, not kinship, is the mother of invention. High above the forest canopies, across open plains and over ancient swamps, the air is alive with the flutter and hum of wings. Flight is one of evolution's most extraordinary achievements, a marvel that has risen not once but multiple times in separate corners of the animal kingdom. The story begins with insects, the pioneers of powered flight. Over 300 million years ago, long before the first bird took to the skies, ancient dragonflies and their kin developed lightweight, jointed wings. These early aviators exploited the three-dimensional freedom of the air, escaping predators, hunting prey, and colonizing new habitats. Their wings, supported by a network of veins and controlled with remarkable precision, allowed for acrobatic maneuvers unmatched by any other group. Elsewhere on the evolutionary tree, vertebrates took to the skies by forging entirely different paths. In the age of dinosaurs, the pterosaurs emerged as the first vertebrates to master flight. Their wings, formed from a membrane stretched across an elongated fourth finger, were vast and varied, from the sparrow-sized Nemacolopterus to the colossal Quetzalcoatlus. These prehistoric gliders soared over ancient landscapes, their anatomy a testament to evolutionary innovation. Millions of years later, birds would rise from small, feathered dinosaurs. Their wings are built from modified arms, with feathers providing both lift and control. The lightweight skeleton, fused bones, and powerful breast muscles of birds reveal a suite of adaptations honed for flight. Over time, birds diversified into thousands of forms, soaring albatrosses, hovering hummingbirds, and swift falcons, all exploiting the sky in unique ways. Mammals, too, found a way. Bats, the only mammals truly capable of powered flight, evolved wings from elongated fingers covered by a thin membrane of skin. Their echolocation and agile flight allow them to hunt insects in the dark, filling a nocturnal niche that birds rarely occupy. Even among fish, the urge to leave the water has given rise to flying fish, whose enlarged pectoral fins enable gliding above the waves, escaping underwater predators for precious moments in the air. Despite their differences, all these flyers share convergent solutions: lightweight bodies, specialized muscles, and aerodynamic surfaces. Each lineage faced its own challenges, structural, metabolic, and ecological, but evolution, ever inventive, arrived at the same breathtaking result: mastery of the skies. From the delicate flutter of a butterfly to the powerful wing beats of an eagle, the evolution of flight is a story of repeated innovation. Though separated by millions of years and vast evolutionary distances, insects, reptiles, birds, and mammals have all answered the ancient call to rise above the earth, proving once again that nature's creativity knows no bounds.